Burundi expected to dominate the AU agenda. Vuyo caught up with the country's foreign minister. The summit is expected to take some tough decisions in an effort to clear up the violence and stem the wave of displacements in the country.
The situation back in Burundi is quiet and very much under control. I can tell you that irrespective of what the narrative has been over the last months, even as we speak, in Burundi, people sleep peacefully. The UN Security Council, when they visited Burundi 3 or 4 days ago, they were able to see it for themselves. They even took a ride into the countryside to visit, to see the president, and we had to go back to the capital for them to take their flight when they arrived around 9:30, 10 p.m. And the road was peaceful, going and coming. So I can say that little by little, even the world is seeing that the narrative that they were fed with was not necessarily true and was not something that was durable. We might have had hiccups here and there, but we continue to believe that in peace, to believe that Burundians love peace and want to live in peace, with each other.
And the situation in the back last year were called the pockets of violence in or within Bujumbura. Are those now quiet? Have the guns gone silent? Are there no more burning tires and barricades on the streets? Definitely
no barricades, no roadblocks. But every once in a while, you'd hear a gunshot or two. But generally, those areas are calm today. You can ask your friends or people in Bujumbura that can tell you. It happens. It could happen that once in a while, a man who has a gun decides to shoot in the air to let everybody know that he's still around. But they are not in any way, threatening the general security balance of the country.
Now, from where you sit as the Burundian government, who could be the people responsible for those sporadic incidents in Bujumbura?
It is very clear that it is the opposition. The opposition that called people to go to the streets against what they called the third term a few months ago. Some of those who were involved in the demonstrations left the country, went basically to Rwanda, but were later on recruited into rebel forces, rebel groups that have been formed in that country. And eventually they even attacked Burundi on July the 10th, an attack which was crushed, as you recall. But they have done even more than that, because they had also done some sort of individual targeting in killing a few authorities, including General Shibirimana, who we believe was assassinated by the people who are in the opposition and who more or less have claimed responsibility. So it is clear that those who are shooting at night or who are disturbing the peace and stability of our country inside Bujumbura are absolutely, without any doubt, from the opposition. Now,
the matter is going to come up here at this AU summit. From where you sit, how should the African Union heads of state and government deal with the Burundi question? If you were to really influence whatever it is that they are going to.
No, it is clear that first of all, it is fine to have concerns, to have worries about situations that are developing on the continent. But I believe that it is necessary to look at them holistically. You cannot look at the situation in Burundi from one angle or from one aspect. You need to look at the situation in the country, from different angles, including from external influences that might eventually be there, as it is, because you may not be aware, but we have clear evidence that refugees have been used, that military trainings have been provided to youths who were, who found refuge in Rwanda, and have been used against the country, against the security of the country. So if you look at the situation in the country, say you want to send troops as it has happened a few weeks ago, as if the problems were just emanating from within, then you're making a big mistake. So we continue to believe that if the AU has to help the country, they need to look at the situation in a very global and general manner, including looking into what could be the external factors.
What about the internal factors? There are people who are citing the role or the possible role of the youth wing of the ruling party, the Imbonerakure.
For that one, we always say, bring evidence. Not just go from what you hear on social media, bring evidence, and then we work on that. It's very simple.
Now, this summit is going to come and go, and from what we're hearing, beyond the summit, there could be a proposal put on the table of an African Union delegation that is going to go to Burundi for a period. We don't know how long a period. What's your attitude towards? What would be your attitude towards?
What kind of delegation would that be?
Well, a peacekeeping. I mean, a delegation of observers who are going to look into what is happening and perhaps report back to the union. The details are not clear at this stage, but from what we're hearing, that's one of the proposals.
If it is about the human rights observers or the military experts, I don't think there will be a problem, because they are already on the ground. Some of them actually, as per previous decisions of the PSC. We need to look into the mandate of that mission. We need to look into the duration of that mission, and also the areas of coverage. It is quite important that if there are indeed violations of human rights that they are reported about, but if there is any advisory role that could be played by that mission, it could be fine as well. What we are against, and what we will stand firm against, even tomorrow, is the idea of sending troops to the country, because we don't think it is warranted. We continue to believe that the situation in Burundi is still under control, that there's very much manipulation, there's more manipulation to the matter than the reality suggests. So if the observers could be indeed neutral, and come to see for themselves, we'll be fine with that. But we have to sit down with the Commission to discuss all the modalities that are related to that, should indeed that proposal be accepted by the different organs of the AU.
Why are you so firm on your rejection of a peacekeeping force, as was initially mooted?
Because we don't understand why they came to that idea in the first place. First of all, how do you send troops without having made an assessment of the situation on the ground, militarily speaking? Have they done that? I don't think they have. Even the East African Standby Force itself, it had never done that assessment, which means that actually the decision was made upon guesses. Moreover, how do you send troops supposedly to protect civilians against crimes against humanity, against genocide, against crimes of war, as if you have an indication to that? What are the reports? Could you find me a single report that clearly indicates that Burundi is heading towards genocide, or that indeed the genocide has started? You wouldn't find any. So why would they make a decision based upon concepts that are not necessarily proven on the ground?
And you are convinced, as the leaders of Burundi, that there will be no genocide whatsoever?
Not only do we believe that there will be no genocide, but we are working against any genocide in Burundi.